Welcome. You're with the Nasty Pastor, and I'm back with another read from the Kemet Egyptian gods. You know, we're up to a god family name, Ptah. They have contributed a lot to our culture. You know, the first book ever known to man was written, structured, published, released to the world from the Hoteps, Ptah. You get what I'm saying? Ptah. I'm gonna leave Hotep off, but when you say Ptah, you gotta add Hotep. You get what I'm saying? So, with no further delay, let's talk about these. Look, let's get into this. Ptah, one of the triad of Memphis, Ptah, Beset, and Nefertum. Ptah is yet another god said to be responsible for creating the universe with a word or a wish. You understand? That takes us back to the 5% teachings, right? It goes right back into that, right? Cool. Ancient Kemet Egyptian architects adopted Ptah as their patron. When the capital of Kemet, Egypt, relocated to Memphis, his followers assigned to him all the glories that had previously belonged to Ra or Atum. You understand? Ra or Atum. We figure who Atum is, right? We done figured a little bit about Ra, right? Let's roll. Represented by a mummified figure with his hands extending from between his bandages, Ptah was a god of art. In his hands he held a staff bearing the symbols of stability and dominion. You know what stability is, right? That's being secure. You know what dominion is, right? That's coming together. You get what I'm saying? Ptah originated in Memphis, but his worship spread to Thebes. He was one of the gods of rebirth and regeneration. Now, if you know what regeneration is, man, that's what I tell you. You know, my skin regenerates. You get what I'm saying? I don't care how big the cut is. If I can wrap it good enough, whether the two skins that's cut, you know, it's an opening, they could touch each other, it'll close. You get what I'm saying? It'll close. So basically, Ptah was a doctor also. You understand? I don't know no other way of explaining. Ptah was a doctor also. I like that because it didn't just show us that there was only women that knew about being a doctor, about, you know, being a physicist, you know, being, you know, delivering babies, period. You know what I mean? That's all dealing with being a doctor, being a nurse. You get what I'm saying? Ptah, that was a doctor, a man of medicine. You get what I'm saying? And when you think about it, you get it. Ptah took on the role of Ra or Atum. You understand now? You understand? You get what I'm trying to say. See, I never said the 5% teachings was wrong. It was just one thing I couldn't, you know, get with, and it comes from my culture. It comes out of my culture. But when you think about how the culture is explained, there's a supreme creator. I don't care how you see it. There's a supreme creator that made Atum. There's a supreme creator that made me. We are made in the image. You understand what I'm saying? And if we really buckle down and we tighten up and we really get into our thinking, get into our meditation, come on, man. We'll move a mountain just by our thought. We'll move a mountain just by our thought. We are some precious human beings. We are some precious kings. We are some precious gods and goddesses that's supposed to make our way back to heaven, to do this over again, to correct our wrongs, correct the wrongs in other people that we see. I don't know about you, but I always pray the fact that I can come back and remember something. Because if you put me back in Richmond, Virginia, you put me coming out the same woman womb from the same dad, something is going to click. Something is going to make me say, you know something, I ain't going left, I'm going right at this fork in the road. I'm going to do this a little different this time. You get what I'm saying? Because if you're reflecting on your life and you're not happy in your life, then there's a mistake you made somewhere and you need to figure where you made it at. You might could change it in this lifetime. You definitely, if you can remember it, if you want to, if you have a need to, can change it in the next lifetime. We just wrapped up this short reading of Ptah. Now you get who Ptah was. Now you understand the image that was portrayed by Ptah. I don't blame them hotels. I don't blame them at all. You get what I'm saying? I don't blame them. Because see, that hotel name is very famous, very popular. And I must say, their blood run through me. Yeah, their blood run through me. Anywho, anyway, you've been with the Nasty Pastor. This been another extra